Hello there. 'Tis I, Photo Dave, and it's been a while since I recorded a video for the old YouTubes for the people. So I figured I'd tell you why, and then I'd get into a little bit of showing off what I've gotten recently, which isn't a lot. 2022's been a kind of a light year lately, but I'll show off what I've got because I do have some good stuff. But first, if you're new to the channel, Toypixx is all about action figure photography, so I'll talk quite a bit here about action figures, about photo equipment, about what's kind of going on in the action figure industry, the consumer base, what we're all thinking, or at least what I'm seeing online about what people are thinking, my thoughts, all that good stuff from time to time, fire off a little bit of news. Tomorrow, for instance, there's a G.I. Joe panel going on, and I'm pretty excited about that. So, if any of this sounds like something that you're into, go ahead and click that subscribe button. And, man, normally this is when I'd have a cup of tea and just sip it and be in silence while you hit the subscribe button. But not this time. Not this time. Let's cue the intro. So first things first, where have I been? Why have I not been recording? Well, I'll tell you. Here's the deal. For months, I was really low on energy, and I'm not really that guy. I like to exercise, I like to sprint, lift weights, that kind of stuff. You can't tell. Yeah, anyway, that's me. I'm an energetic dude. I like to be out and about doing things and having fun, and I realized, wow, my energy is really going low, and I couldn't come up with any reason for why that's happening, so I started going to the doctor to try and figure out what's going on, and after months, these poor people, they did a whole lot of investigating. After months, they figured out what was going on and gave me an antibiotic, and within a few days, I was good to go. So I've been able to kind of catch back up, get my exercise going again. If you'll notice, if you follow me on Instagram or Twitter, you'll notice that the pictures are getting a little more detailed. I'm putting a little more stuff out there. There's less pictures that have just a black background because, frankly, I was like, I didn't have the energy to set up anything better. So that's what's up. That's where I was trying to figure out that. Like I said, still posted all the pictures, but man, video, recording, having all this energy, even all the ones I've recorded around December, January, and all that, I didn't have near the energy I have now, so you guys might be hosed if you don't like somebody that naturally seems like they're heavily caffeinated. Yeah, so there you go. That's it. Now, onto the figures, because that's the fun part, right? Right. Alright, I've only got 4 figures to talk about today, but I do have another pile of loot coming from BBTS this week, hopefully, in theory. And then I have a weapons pack coming from Mezco, which is crazy. And then I also have some more photo equipment that I'll be talking about. So hopefully later this week, maybe sometime next week, I'll be able to talk all about that. But first things first, let's get these figures all shown off. Because, hey, it's been a while, and I've got stuff to show off. First off, folks, we have Professor Honeycutt, the Fugitoid. Now, I'm going to just go ahead and say something that I don't want anybody to take a shot or be upset or anything like that. This is my first official NECA figure. And this is a figure that will not be in top 10 contention this year. But what I like about him, he's got kind of these whole it's bendy wire in here and all that. What I really like about him, though, forget the bendy wire, forget anything else, just the fact that NECA is coming back with their Mirage Studios, their comic book, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, has me super excited. So I had to get Fugitoid. I got him during the whole Target Haulathon thing. So I'm pretty excited to have him just because of what he represents. And let's be honest, for me, I don't know about the rest of you, I know they announced Archie Comics figures as well, and I think those are alright, but I've been reading the IDW run. I would love it if NECA dove into the IDW figures, especially give us a Slash. Come on, NECA, come on. Give us the IDW Slash. That thing is a work of art. Okay, let's move on to the next figure. Next up, we have the most feared bounty hunter in the galaxy, at the least fearsome time of his life, it seems. But I love this figure. I'm going to be honest. This is the Boba Fett from The Mandalorian by SH Figuarts. And I think he is stellar. Top 10 contention? I don't know yet. It's going to be a while. I need to see what else I'm going to get this year. I've got plenty on pre-order that are probably going to fight for top 10. Yeah, so it's going to be a stiff competition. But what I dig about this guy is the cloth here. Even though it's inaccurate, I would prefer it were the sash, but I think this is still a really great representation of the guy. And I do have to say, one thing that I didn't enjoy was I did get the head sculpt that he has with kind of the cross-eyed deal. Fortunately, when you're displaying Boba Fett, at least for me, you display him with the helmet on, but I was still disappointed because one of the reasons I was really a big fan of this figure is because I thought that Tamara Morrison head sculpt was easily the best one that I saw out there. So, little disappointing there, slight disappointment with the sash, but he comes with a ton of hand options, some flame effects that you can attach here. Well, you pull this thing off and then attach the whole assembly in there. More rocket, or another rocket, and a little fire boost thing. You know, I'm not talking about him too much. I'm not going to get too in detail about him, in depth as it were, because this isn't really a review channel. Let's face it, I'm a photography guy, and this dude, just under these lights, showing him off right now, he just looks good in pictures. Alright, next! And now we have arguably the two most popular Star Wars characters since Disney took over the license, the Mandalorian and Grogu, Din Djarin. Oh yeah, and these are also SH Figuarts figures. I don't think Grogu needs a whole lot of work done to him. I don't think you're ever going to get a Grogu that's super highly articulated or anything like that. I think this is just enough articulation for the little green guy. And hey, he's just adorable. You gotta love the Grogu. And then, of course, you've got Mando. Now, the SH Figuarts Mando has been met with disappointment by many. What I dig about him is how articulated he is. And how shiny he is. Like, I've got pretty harsh lights coming in from the side right now. But those harsh lights just show off how shiny this bad boy is in this Beskar. Now, there are things I've had to do to him to make him a figure that I really enjoy. I mean, I really enjoy this figure. But there are concessions I've had to make. I have never attached his rifle to his back, for instance, because in every review I've seen, that just looks like way too much of a pain. I barely use the spear. I did attach it to the belt here. It's kind of hard to make work. It's sort of a hard plastic, and the piece that attaches it, sorry Grogu, right down in here is also kind of a hard plastic, so you gotta hit him with a little bit of heat to try and make him go. And then when I did that, the spear just slides all over the place. It's not like it really stays put. So that's a pain. This little knee pad here, that just falls off. I've had this arm piece just fall off. And I've had this little pauldron here on this side fall off. So he's a pain. He is tough to work with, no doubt. And something else I had to do, I got one of those John Walker custom neck pegs so that his head sits a little higher. I think he looks incredible. I think to get him there, he's a pain to work with, and you have to allow yourself the fact that, hey, going forward, he doesn't have the spear or the rifle, because the spear was melted into chainmail for Grogu, and the rifle was blown up with the Razor Crest. So we can get rid of those, and that makes the accessories, that are kind of a pain, it doesn't really matter, right? So there are concessions I've had to make for him. That said, this is a beautiful figure. I love photographing this guy, and as much as I dig Boba, I actually like Din Djarin here quite a bit more. So your mileage may vary on this one. This one's kind of divisive, but at least for me, he kind of leans definitely in the positives. Not a top 10 because of all the concessions I have to make, not a contender, but he is really one of my favorite figures right now, which is just messed up. I don't even know what I'm trying to say, so let's move on to the next one. And now, the final figure that I've gotten in this time that I've been away is this Threezero Transformers MDLX, because who doesn't like a lot of letters, Bumblebee. Now, this here, right now, I would say is in contention to be my figure of the year. Yep, definitely in contention. Now, if you've been paying attention to the channel for a long time, you know that I dig Mafex figures. And those things, even when you shop for them overseas, which you do get them a little cheaper there, and by the way, if you use DHL with Ami, you tend to get stuff in just 2 or 3 days after release. So, pro tip for you, those of you who dig your foreign figures. But anyway, they're still like $80, $90, $100 to get those shipped over here. So, this Bumblebee was $60 flat. Now, plus shipping, obviously. But $60 for this thing compared to a Mafex. Now, the Mafex usually comes with more stuff. This Bumblebee came with another head. Let's see here. This is the head I actually prefer to use. Ooh, camera got jumpy. He came with 3 pairs of hands, and he came with this gun. Pretty good stuff. Pretty good deal, I'd say, for $60. And forget that, he is so well articulated, it's insane. And the articulation, it's tight, but it's not restrictive. It's the first Threezero figure I've ever gotten, and it is just phenomenal. I've never handled a figure like this. It's just really cool, and it's something that I think, I keep hearing people say, you owe it to yourself to check out this line or that figure. This would be me saying, you owe it to yourself to check out the Transformers MDLX line. Right now, they've only released Bumblebee, but Prime is right now available for pre-order all over the place, so I've got him on pre-order because you can't have Transformers without Optimus Prime. But yeah, B is just awesome. Right now, currently, out of all 4 of the figures that I've gotten in 2022, Bumblebee is my figure of the year. And folks, remember, well, don't remember, I haven't told you yet, but I do have links to all these figures in the description below, so if you decide to give them a shot, go for it. Click those links and go pick them up. It'll help the channel. It'll help me with my goal of making Toypixx a dominant brand towards the end of the year, where I want it to be paying all my bills. Yeah, good times. But anywho, Bumblebee, get him. Trust me, this thing is ridiculous. Of course, if you're not a Transformers nerd, maybe don't get him. But if you're not a Transformers nerd, let's face it, you're doing something wrong with your life. Okay, that's all I've got for these 4. And there you have it, folks. We are at the end of this here video. So please, make sure you comment. Let me know what you think of these figures. And as an aside, something I'm curious about, what would make you someone who wants to subscribe to someone such as myself on Patreon? What would make that worthwhile for you? I'm curious. I have a Patreon account, but I need to really get it kicking a little bit because, again, my goal, as I've talked about in the past, is to make Toypixx my main source of income by the end of the year. And I know that's tough. That's a tall order. But I think there's a real possibility. So there you go. Remember, like, comment, subscribe if you're digging the stuff. Even dislike if you're not digging it, because, hey, it all helps the algorithm. And that's all I've got for this time. So remember, have fun and happy snapping. See ya.